this time, one other thing too is Tim grew up down the street from me. At this time, please join me in welcoming the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Arkansas, Tim Griffin.
I never rolled your house, did I?
Once.
I don't think I did that. Never got caught anyway. Well, thank y'all for letting me be here. It is so good to be in South Arkansas. I love some South Arkansas. I love some Magnolia. I get down here as much as I can. You know, I had to work in D.C. and live in Washington, D.C. to meet my wife from Camden, which was crazy. For years, I thought, I'm never going to get married. Can't meet a Southern girl up here. And somebody introduced me to a girl from Camden who was there for the weekend. Never dated anybody else. Been married 10 years on the 2nd, which was 4 days ago. So I love South Arkansas. It's always good to be back down here. I come down for holidays and ride motorcycles and, you know, hang out. And I've been to a few football games since 1986 when I graduated. And the principal here was my PE coach, right? I think in 6th grade, I think we concluded he was my PE coach. So a lot has changed since way back in, and that would have been 1980, by the way, which dates us even further. In any event, I will tell you that, you know, when I was coming down here, I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? They only gave me 10 minutes. Politicians have a hard time keeping a speech into 10 minutes. And so all the normal speeches I give, I threw them out, and I said, well, you know what, I'm just going to speak from my heart and talk about some things that I think might help you. They help me for sure. Some lessons I've learned along the way. And I wrote a few of them down here. And first thing I would tell you is that when I left Magnolia, and again, a lot has changed. You've taken this school to a whole other level, particularly with the AP courses and what have you. But when I left here in 1986, I think was Coach Garrett. I think he might have been the principal. Okay. In any event, when I left here, I went to Hendrix College up in Conway. And I had heard a lot of good things about Hendrix. I was excited about going there, but I was worried about where I would fit in academically. Because you hear about all the kids that went to Catholic High, and they went to Pulaski Academy, or they went wherever they went. And so I was, you know, I was a little worried that I was going to get there, and instead of doing well, being near the top of the class like everybody here in high school, I thought, well, I'm going to get to college, and we're going to really find out that I belong somewhere besides the top of the class, right? And I quickly found out that I was very well prepared for Hendrix College and Tulane Law School and grad school at Oxford. Magnolia prepared me very, very well. I got a lot of writing when I was here, was taught English by incredible teachers. Math, I still remember their names. My foundation in math was incredible. And so don't you ever lack confidence in your education as you step out into the rest of the world. You know, if you look out around this room, all the students here, you'll scatter. You'll scatter. Some of you are going to join the military, and you may end up in the Pacific, and you may end up in Europe, and you may end up back around here years later. We've got some of those from my class in '86. Some of you may never leave right here. In fact, you may live down the street, and you may stay down the street. Some of you may move to Little Rock. Some of you may move out of state. But I can tell you, when you leave high school, having done well here, it is absolutely natural to question, now where am I going to fit in academically? Am I going to be able to handle the college or university or school that you go to? And I want to tell you from my experience, the answer is a resounding yes. Magnolia, to this day, I have a lot of pride in Magnolia and in the school here, and I was very, very well prepared from an academic perspective. Now, let me tell you another way that I was prepared. There's a real advantage to being from a small town. A lot of times people talk about the disadvantages of being from a small town, but there are a lot of advantages too. In bigger cities, there are enough people in a neighborhood to create a school. And you can go to another part of town, there's another one, and another one, and another one. The great thing about growing up here and being in Magnolia High School is the vast majority of the folks in this town were here all together in this school. And you got to interact with a lot of people that if you lived in a bigger city, just with your neighborhood, folks from your background or with your hobbies or whatever, that you wouldn't get. You wouldn't get that interaction the way I did here. And that benefited me. And I think that that sort of social interaction will benefit you as you go throughout your life. Let me tell you this too. There's a member of Congress from Texas, Pete Sessions, and his dad used to be director of the FBI. And when I served in Congress, he used to say, winners do things that losers won't do. Winners do things that losers won't do. Now, what does that mean? What that means is, whether you're training for the Olympics, whether you are studying for tests, whether you are whether you're preparing for the next football game, and I look forward to football season. Every other season is just a speed bump on the way to football season, right? But winners do things that losers won't do means that you get up earlier, you study later. When everybody else is taking some time off, you decide to work more. You decide to study more. You decide to read and review one extra time when everybody else went to bed. That ultimately is what separates the people who succeed in many cases from those who don't. And that's not always the case. We certainly have other influences on our lives. But let me tell you, the great equalizer, no matter where you're from, the great equalizer I have found. My dad's a Baptist minister. My mom was a preschool teacher. And I feel the Lord blessed me with very loving family and loving parents. What we didn't have in money and what have you, we had in love for sure. But let me tell you this. Not everybody's going to go to the same schools. Not everybody's going to have the same family background. Not everybody's going to have the same advantages. But let me tell you, the great equalizer is work. Work. Hard work. A lot of us are taught by our culture today that life is about having fun. I'm all for having fun, and trust me, I have my share of it. I love it. But let me tell you, I was raised to believe that we were put on this earth to serve, and to serve others, and not just to have fun. I don't believe anyone has a problem with having fun. But we weren't put on this like one big amusement park for 70, 80 years to just have a good time. We were put on here to serve, whether that means you're serving here, you're serving overseas, you're serving in the military, you're serving at a Walmart, wherever it is. And let me tell you what, the key, the common denominator to the people that I've met along the way who achieve hard work. Hard work. Whatever you lack, don't worry about it. Just work harder. Whatever, when you start to feel sorry for yourself because you didn't have this or that, forget about it. Work harder. If you work harder, you will succeed in athletics, in the Olympics, at school, college, wherever it is. Whether you get a 4-year degree and that's it, whether you go to med school, whatever it is, hard work will separate you. Because what you will find in life, not everybody is going to work as hard as you are. And when you do that, you completely distinguish yourself. And you know what I'm talking about. And folks with a few years under their belts know what I'm talking about. You immediately see the people who work hard and those who don't. And finally, I would say this. Have an anchor. Have an anchor. My anchor is my faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. Have an anchor. An anchor that you can go to with your where you find your values. That is critically important. Yes, it helps when things are going great, but when things are tough, it really is the anchor that keeps you going in the right direction. And so I will just say that if I could, I love Magnolia. I'm so proud of all of y'all. If I could ever help you in any way, my office is no longer in Congress. It's now in the Capitol as of November, or as of January. It's in the Capitol of Little Rock. If you ever need anything, you just call the Lieutenant Governor's office. And when they say, who's calling, just say, I'm from Magnolia. I'll be glad to help you any way I can. Thank you all.